That's why I used to sit like this the whole time.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Sharpshooters NBA podcast. How are you guys doing?
Fine.
Doing good, Danny.
We're good.
How are you, Danny?
I'm good.
This guy is qualified to be the GM of any team in the NBA because when he plays fantasy basketball, he wins. If he was up against Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, it would be the pay-per-view event that you'd actually want to spend $100 on. The Brown Mamba, Alex effing Baby.
Good morning!
Speaking of fantasy basketball, Alex is going to be trying just as hard as the cops to get this guy back in handcuffs. You could give him a run for his money.
Yes.
Hey, Luke. Don't drop the soap.
Good morning.
He doesn't care about the rules because he's wearing white after Labor Day. The breaker of rules. The brother of Splash. The intern, Jacob. He's dancing and sazing and flexing and zamblazing on him. He'll get you pumped and sized and ready to go. The king. Bop, bop, bop. Julian.
Let's get it cracking. Let's get it smacking up in it.
Woo!
Woo! What a precipitous day.
Hey! And my name is Danny Professional, and again, welcome back to another episode of the Sharpshooters NBA podcast. And please check us out on our social medias at Twitter at SharpshooterNBA, Instagram Sharpshooters NBA, YouTube Sharpshooters NBA, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play. What is that it?
That's all of everything. Just
everything.
Look for
Just
us anywhere.
put the name in the search and we'll come up.
You weren't even paying attention.
I was paying attention.
NBA podcast.
Got it.
Oh, man.
So let's get right into it. The Lakers were fined $500,000 for tampering, quote unquote, tampering with PG, Paul George. Yep. Now, my question is, and I don't think this is really the best word to use, tampering. I want to kind of know a little bit more about what that means, and if we think, and I think, that it happens more than what we know about, but this one just got caught. So do you guys think it happens more than what we're aware of, or,
it happens.
you know?
It definitely happens. It definitely happens. I mean, Magic Johnson just got caught on TV talking about how much he wants Paul George and stuff, so they were looking at him more like closely.
Yeah, they gave him a warning.
Yeah, but I
Magic,
feel
you're
like
not allowed to do that, man.
There's no way they were the only owners and GMs that they know Paul George is about to leave, and they weren't mentioning to him, like, hey, you should come here.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so there's a definition for tampering.
Yeah.
The league has a constitution. Under Article 35A of that constitution, teams are forbidden from any kind of attempt to persuade a player, coach, trainer, general manager, or any other person who is under contract with another team to join the tampering team. So that's how they define it. It's very wide and broad, but there is a way they view that.
Yeah. They define it as like
Under
no
contract.
contact if they're under contract, but players talk to each other all the time.
Exactly.
Say, hey, come play with me next year. And
How do you think LeBron got to Miami?
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly.
Come on. You can't
So
stop friends from talking to friends.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe
It's just
Magic
happened.
just kind of forgot that he's not a player anymore, and he was
Super
just.
friends!
Yeah.
Talking about super
I had to
friends!
bring it up.
It's definitely tampering. I guess because Magic's an ex-player and he's known as being super friendly and the nice guy and like.
No pun intended.
Like. So he's just being himself, all outgoing and.
I mean, how did people think that CP3 joined the Rockets? Like there was a trade. They knew that he was gonna be a part of the team anyway. They were gonna sign anyway. So how did that happen? There had to be a conversation somewhere.
Somewhere. it's just a matter of Magic. It being Magic Johnson, they have to put a name that people are going to recognize, and they have to set an example for it.
Well, he
So
also announced it on TV.
Yeah, he did. He did.
So,
but it's at the same
his
time,
fault.
like, when they know other people are doing it too. Like,
so he was
they can
probably like,
low-key
"Oh, it's not that big of a deal."
Well, the accusation came from the Pacers,
Yeah,
right?
the
So
Pacers
like
were the
the
ones
Pacers were salty because
they're losing it.
this is what happened. The issue was not the conversation because there was the wink heard round the world that that Magic. I hope the camera caught that Magic.
Right eye.
Like talk to Paul George or whatever, saying like, if I see you, then, like I want you on the team, blah, blah, blah. But the issue came with Rob Pelinka contacting the agent of PG, and then what the Pacers had an issue with was not that all this conversation happened, but that everybody knew where Paul George was planning
was
to go.
trying to go.
So what it did was it hindered what they could get back in a trade for him. So they ended up getting Odalipo. Shouts to some cool people.
Yeah. I won't call them out, but
hopefully they're listening. Maybe they're listening. But so so they couldn't get exactly what they wanted out of it. But you don't necessarily, once a player wants out anyway, you don't necessarily get 4 quarters for $1.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly.
Everyone knew he was leaving anyway, so the whole tampering I don't think hurt them too much if everyone knew.
I just think we all know that they could have done better.
Oh, they definitely could have got more.
Could have got
Paul
more.
George.
I think they themselves settled for that. Like that was no one's fault. Like that's not your. Come on, Kyrie.
I feel like there had to have been
that
other
deal was
offers.
And
way better.
There was no deadline.
Yeah,
this is what
They
has to
did
be
it
understood.
as soon as the season was over.
They could have just been like, okay, I'm waiting until the end of the summer. I'm waiting until the trade deadline. Like, there could have been people that could have really been like, say they waited till the trade deadline. They could have been like, oh, well, maybe my situation is so good that maybe he won't want to go to the Lakers. They could have tried that and actually force people to give them
got
more than that.
Instead they overpaid.
They still could have got the same thing.
Yeah.
I think they could have got those same 2 guys later in the year. So I just think they screwed that themselves. That's not it.
So now it's just dope because we know Paul George is going to
Yeah, definitely now.
Yeah.
So, I guess my thing is like, if a general manager or whoever's in charge of the player personnel is not able to talk to the person, to that player, Dwayne Wade or whoever calls LeBron and is like, "What's up, bro? Come on down to Miami." Like,
Yeah, then it's fine, I guess.
and
I don't know.
I hear what you're saying. You can't tell a friend not to call a friend. You know, you can't tell him, "Hey, man, like I'd love to play with you." You know, like you can't tell him not to say that. But it's almost like there's just a big gray area in there.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
defined
huge,
very
right?
clearly at all, yeah.
So now it's just like Pacers are pissed off. They're trying to appease them. $500,000, like that's not a big deal.
It's not-
Especially
it's
for
not
a team.
The Lakers.
Like
Yeah, that's,
Paul
not
George
big.
is gonna make more than that in the next few weeks. You know,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
the Lakers will make that back in a day.
So it's not a big deal, but they just wanted to, put that out there. They kind of just wanted it to be a thing. Oh, don't do it, or you're gonna get fined $500,000 out of billions.
Super friends.
The Celtics finalized the Kyrie, Isaiah Thomas deal by sending.
Finally.
Finally, right?
I know, right?
This trade's been going for too long.
No, they
Wait,
really
so
needed
who's
an
in the trade?
important.
Who's
They
in the-
needed
They
that.
needed this. This is the cherry on top of the sundae. That is this trade. A 2nd-round pick from the 2020 draft. Here's where I kind of want to go with this.
40th or 50th pick.
Yeah, and first off, like, 2nd round in the 2020 draft. Anyway, like, who's going to be in there? But which team is going to be better off? Is the future now, or is the future remaining in the future? So
For the
who's going to be
Celtics,
better off
right?
right now? Who's going to be, what'd you say?
For the Celtics?
Well, he's
Just in
like,
general, yeah.
Which team is making out better? pretty much.
Oh,
Celtics.
The Celtics.
But, I mean, as long as LeBron James is in Cleveland,
Yeah.
the Cleveland Cavaliers are just better off.
Yeah, I mean, long term, the Celtics are definitely set. One, just because Gordon Hayward's there for a couple more years. Like, they
4
can
years.
re-sign Kyrie. So they got more long
Kyrie,
term.
they still got Kyrie.
I think
for
with
at
this
least
trade by itself, like getting Isaiah Thomas and then 2 picks by just
It's
losing
not-
Kyrie is
not
not
bad.
it's not that bad for the Cavs.
If
So like
Kyrie-
immediate future, like this season, I think the Cavs might actually might be a little bit better off.
If Isaiah
But
can
it's-
play,
But yeah, that's the thing.
and B Isaiah.
But after 1 year, if LeBron leaves, then it doesn't matter what this deal was. If you don't have LeBron on the team,
your
then they're-
second best player is going to be. I mean, Kevin Love.
if he's even there, he might be gone
He
too.
might be
The
gone.
only way the Cavs make out better is if they include Tristan Thompson.
They look get rid of him. Or if maybe
That's
like
the only way we're talking about making out better.
Hey,
Okay?
hey.
or somehow their 2 draft picks that they get from the Celtics
Smooth.
end up being like all-stars. But I don't.
I mean, that's possible, I
It's
guess.
possible. I mean, they hit the lottery every other year, so
True.
they.
That's true. I think if they can get Michael Porter Jr. or Bagley, I mean, they're not going to be great, but I think that's a good step for the future. But it's not going to be anything better than what the Celtics can do. Like, honestly, just straight up.
The Celtics
for
still have more
next
picks,
4
too,
years.
so
The
it's-
Celtics are set up to be championship
They
contenders
should
in
be
the
running the
championship.
East. If
pretty
LeBron
much,
leaves
because
or starts
the
to
East.
decline, it's the Celtics are going to own the East. for a
unless
little
the
bit.
Sixers have something to say about it in 2 years, 3 years,
or
right?
the Wizards.
Trust the
No.
process.
Whoa, great. There you guys. All right. There's the mute button.
They made no moves in
I
Austin.
mean, their
Okay,
core is
they-
so young. The Celtics. They got Hayward. They
Yeah.
got Horford. Horford isn't
Horford's
young, but
old,
he's a
but-
he's a good core player, role player to have.
Jaylen
And then
Brown.
Kyrie is kind of their like X factor to me. Like the expectancy of success really depends on Kyrie to me. If he's willing to submit into the system, because Brad Stevens is solid, Danny Ainge is kind of doing his thing. I don't really like the way he goes about it,
Yeah.
but it ends up
And
turning
it
out
ends up
pretty
being
well. Like,
really good.
they were
That's-
rebuild in 4 years. Like they were horrible, like the Lakers, and it was looking very grim for them. But then,
and now they're
All of a
top.
sudden, no.
yeah, now
Yeah,
they're
he's doing his job.
might be in the finals.
Yeah, he's definitely doing his job.
Crazy.
So you trade Horford for, say, Anthony Davis? Like, the Pelicans suck. The Pelicans have not built around their player as good as
They've had him for a while now.
So-
they should be.
So, like,
Yeah, they just keep.
you gotta find a way.
They got DeMarcus Cousins to build around him. Like,
They kept,
I don't know
they
what
kept
they're
Drew Holiday
doing.
there for a long time, right? Kept him there, paid
I
him
don't know what they're
120
doing.
million.
Well, they're trying to build a team with a win now mode, even though they don't have a secondary player to like build.
Win
around.
now. They can't
so,
win now.
So you can't do it. So you gotta do kind of what the Celtics did. So instead, they might be so dumb that they just have to say
I wouldn't
like
put it
we're
past
starting
them.
over. We'll like give us another great pick or something like that, and we'll give you Anthony Davis.
Could possibly happen too, and that would put them over the top.
yeah,
That would
that'd be
easily
crazy.
put them over the top. AD on that team with Kyrie and Brad Stevens. I think that would be good. That would maximize AD's
I believe in
potential.
that. I would
Danny's
actually-
over
I like
there
that.
Danny's like, yeah.
He's like that.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Cavs have. I don't think the Cavs have much of a shot to get better from here. Like they're just not. They're just not going to get better unless LeBron stays and they get someone to come to Cleveland, which no one wants to ever go to Cleveland.
Well, LeBron doesn't even want
Like
to stay
the
in
only
Cleveland.
person that's wanted to go
He's
to
from
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Well, like that's the thing. Like, the only person that wanted to go to
It's his
Cleveland
hometown.
in the past 9 years since before he left, like, is Kevin Love, and he
went there
only
because
wanted to
of
go
LeBron.
because of
Yeah.
LeBron, and now he's,
Yeah, you only go to Cleveland because LeBron's there. And then
Literally,
if
'cause
he's
of-
gone. You just
Yeah,
go to whatever
nothing.
team that
Yeah,
LeBron's
they're-
on. Okay, it is episode number 24. We've made it this far, 24 weeks in a row. And we're going to start something this week. We're going to go with the episode number to the corresponding player number. And because it's 24, we're going to talk about Kobe Bryant.
I already feel scared for
Woo,
25.
I know. One of the greatest ever. Fellas, what is your favorite thing? What's one of your favorite things that Kobe has done? It could be a play. It could be any of his shoes. It could be anything. What are some of your favorites, Alex? I am looking at you.
That's what I'm looking at you for. I gotta
You
know.
are the brown mamba. You got
It has to be his unfazed drive, man. Like I like to relate everything I consume with who I am. So like I'm not trying to say I'm driven like Kobe, but I'm kind of driven like Kobe. like you guys see it even with the podcast, man. I'll like
Heck yeah.
That's
I'll like
true.
just go nuts on certain things. Like nobody cares about 5%, but I'm like, hey guys, hey guys.
All right, start the rant.
My God, 5 times just falling back down.
But his unfazed drive, like they coming into the league in '96, he was a rookie, and people, tons of people were being talked about as being the next MJ, and everybody else faded in some way, shape, or form. Like they either said like, "Oh, I'm not that guy," or they just didn't play up to it, or whatever. Like they were. I'm not saying they weren't great players, but there was a shoulder. He shouldered something. That weight that like nobody else in the league took. I'm not saying he was even the best player during the era. Like you got to talk about KG, you got to talk about Shaq, you got to talk about Tim Duncan. But Kobe took on that persona of like, okay, we got obsessed with this player and we learned that this is what basketball looked like, and now we no longer have that player, or that player comes back and plays on the Wizards, who are cursed, and so they're not.
Yeah. All of Washington D.C. sports are cursed.
Yeah, I said that regrettably, but like even going back to, I think it was 2013 with the Achilles game. People have to understand that he was going for a few weeks with bone spurs in his feet. People were saying that he was actually playing for years with those bone spurs.
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised.
But they started, like he played with like torn ligaments in his finger, like broken tender. But in the Achilles game, he put up something like 30, 34, 5, and 6 or something like that. He hurt his knee. He was like limping all over the place. There was a part where he pushed off a little bit, but he knocked Klay Thompson to the ground. He was shooting like threes like crazy, and this is something that I feel like some people know, but not everybody knows. He tore his Achilles, but they called a foul.
Yeah, and he went up, stepped up.
Yeah,
Hit the free throws.
they called a timeout because he was hurt, right?
Yeah.
So he had, with a torn Achilles,
Remember that.
he went back to the huddle, came back out, hit 2 free throws, and then walked off the floor.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, when he's shooting the free throws, he's basically crying as he's doing it. Hits both free throws, and this is what needs to be understood about that game. They won that game by 2. With Steph taking a 3 at the end of the game at the buzzer to lose.
Unclutch.
So they won. They won that, and they were down probably like 12 in the third quarter.
Yeah.
So that one, also not to forget, that the Lakers ended up making the playoffs by 1 game. So if he didn't hit those 2 free
He wouldn't
throws
have made it.
with a torn Achilles, they're not making the playoffs.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's the type of stuff that I
Kobe,
feel like I have
You don't really see
1,000
it.
stories.
Yeah, he's one of the last players that we saw play every game like it was a playoff game.
Yeah.
Like he didn't care when it was,
That's
who
true.
it was against.
Doesn't care.
He played
very
every
true.
single game like it was a championship game.
He only didn't play when he was legitimately injured.
Yeah.
And even when he was injured, he was
He is
finished.
still trying to.
Yeah.
Like, he finished that game. Like I mean, he may not have been the last 2 free throws with his time expired or whatever, but he finished that game. Like he did the last things that he could possibly do.
Yeah.
With what he had, but like just so many moments. When he dunked on Ben Wallace when he was young, like he threw it down on him. I was hyped for that, but like one of the big moments for me was when he hit the 12 threes in a game in 2003 against Seattle. I was like,
When people weren't shooting
this
threes
is
like
what,
that back
and he
then.
was he's not the most consistent 3-point shooter
Was
in the
that
world.
game?
That
Was
game,
that game?
like that's the thing with
He
him
was
when
feeling
he's
it.
feeling it and he gets in that mentality. Oh, like
There's nothing you
there's
can
nothing
do.
you can do.
Yeah.
One, there's nothing you can do, and then two, like you have to watch and love it.
Yeah.
And if you love it,
You have
if
to
you
respect
don't love
it.
it's because you hate him. But you still
Right,
love
yeah.
watching it.
Yeah, that's-
like
yeah.
it's just incredible. I mean, in 2003, in February, he averaged 40 points for the whole month. Like, think about that. For the whole month. Dang it. Damn it. I had 35 points this game. I'm below my goddamn average. What? That is obscene. Like, you think about it. Like,
40
that's
points,
crazy.
yeah,
40
for a
points
whole
a
month.
month. That's really, like, you don't see that very often.
03, right? So Shaq's
03.
on that team.
Yeah.
And that wasn't
And
even.
that was when they were.
Yeah, that wasn't even his 80-point game.
Yeah.
Either. So like
Oh, no.
he did that without the crazy like
That
80-point
80
game
points.
Like,
in that month.
That was
yeah.
just a consistent like month where
Over 40.
he's just dominating. He's just dominating you. He's coming at you.
I forgot about
And also
that.
when he's going against Jordan on the Wizards and, and he scored 55 on his head.
Yeah,
this
that's
is my
old
time
Jordan.
now. Exactly. The
Like,
era is over for Jordan.
The
Jordan
thing is,
it's
we saw
over.
Jordan kind of do that to Magic, like at the end of Magic's
Exactly.
career, like kind of like,
Exactly.
hey, you're handing me this league now. And Kobe pretty much did the same
He
thing.
said, hey,
to
this is
him.
my league now.
Yeah.
So
And for the record, I hated Kobe when Kobe came. I hated Kobe, man. I was like, how dare you do this?
the
But it's
man.
like, if I was in that position,
Yeah.
heck yeah, man, I'll break your
freaking-
legs, man.
Did that? You're gonna
If
dominate.
you can.
That's the thing. That's the
Yeah, I
thing.
scored 50 on MJ. I'd love to say that.
Right,
Right?
right.
That's the thing
Exactly.
for me with Kobe is
He doesn't
I
care.
loved watching. Yeah, he doesn't care. I loved watching Michael Jordan so much because he didn't care. He
Dominating.
didn't care about your playoff hopes. He didn't care that you never won a ring. He didn't care about any of that. He went in and he did his thing, and then you watch Kobe and you're like, all right, this is great. And then, I mean, he's good, but there's a difference in
But
intensity.
LeBron will go
when
out
you're
there and be like,
watching
I'm going to score
Kobe.
55 on Jordan, but he's going to high-five him and be like, hey, bud, how's it going? Give him a hug.
Oh,
Kobe had that face, man. He had that determined, I'm going to
Yeah.
rip your heart out and eat it in front of you kind of face.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
He was just energizing, and you saw it, you're like, yo, this is good.
If kids out there, anybody
Yeah.
out there, if you can take something from that, your devotion to something, even if you're not as good as MJ at it, go at it like Kobe did, and I promise you will find success in some form
Yeah.
or fashion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just to go off of that, like, real quickly, I mean, MJ was cut from his high school team.
Yeah.
And then, look, he was literally told, you're not going to amount to anything in basketball, and then look at him.
Yeah.
He's the
Right.
greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the Kobe shoes, too. Thanks for coming out with those, you know.
Kobe's out.
I
Kobe
personally
shoes.
like the triple whites. The triple whites are dope.
Ooh.
Icy.
Ooh.
But,
I never played in Kobe's.
I never
Yeah.
played in a lot of shoes that I wish I could.
They're my favorite balling shoes.
Like to
Yeah.
play in them?
Mine were
Like
Kyrie's,
as far
but
as
maybe not
player
anymore, 'cause-
shoes.
I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go burn some Kyrie shoes. No, just kidding.
Burn some Isaiah Thomas. Oh,
Oh,
wait.
wait.
He doesn't have
He
shoes.
doesn't have them
Doesn't
yet.
have shoes.
In the past couple episodes, we have talked about both over and underhyped players, but let's talk about some underrated moves that have happened in this off season, which is basically every move that doesn't involve Kyrie and Isaiah Thomas. What deals do you guys think have gone under the radar and can change the trajectory of a team? And I guess one other little thing to this is sometimes the best player with the most talent is not the best leader. So do you think any leaders have gone to new places?
Well, I
Jimmy
mean,
Butler.
James Jones, but now James.
Yeah, James Jones.
He's doing gone. Yeah, Jimmy Butler. That's good.
I think that's one that was
Maybe.
really big, and then we kind of forgot about it real quick just because all the other moves that happened. But I think him going to Timberwolves could be really good for them, just being a veteran with Wiggins. He might be able to bring something out of him. I don't think he's going to be the guy for much longer because Wiggins and Towns, I think, are going to start growing up.
I think Towns will grow up. He needs
Yeah.
to grow up.
Yeah.
He's got to me the biggest potential on that team. To
Yeah,
be
that's
the,
what I'm saying.
the
So
guy.
Butler could kind of,
Butler needs to be the leader. Towns needs to be the best player.
Yeah.
I think that's what needs to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, and then Wiggins compliment. That'd be good. Plus they've got Taj Gibson, Jamal Crawford, Jeff Teague. They've got solid guys coming
got
off
solid
bench
group.
and stuff. So, I think that's
was
a good
move.
one, Jimmy
That was a
Butler.
good move.
They should have picked him up. I think the Warriors picking up Nick Young.
We're already set.
They're already set.
Just
but
keep
then you
adding more
adding
pieces.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
obviously going to help.
People
them.
are going to praise that. Him and Omer Caspi.
Yeah.
Both of those are going to praise.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's just they had to do
But
that.
they don't
kind of
lose
stuff.
anyone, and they just
They
keep
don't lose
adding more people.
And
Exactly.
the thing is, all the deficiencies of those players' games are no longer part of their games. They just
It
have
doesn't
to spot
matter.
up and
Yeah.
shoot, maybe facilitate a little bit, and like draw fouls, make free throws at the end of the game. That's easy money for guys like that who used to have to handle the ball, make
Yeah.
make
Now Nick Young
pressure
can just
decisions
run around and take shots.
Yeah.
That's,
I think I mean, we talked about it, but like because of Kyrie and Isaiah Thomas, I think Paul George going to the Thunder, was seeing how Westbrook plays with Paul George, because you got to think
I'm
about it. He
excited for
had
that.
KD, so they're giving all this expectation to the Thunder, but like he had KD and they didn't win with KD, so they obviously, to me, Paul George is a lesser player than KD. They're obviously not going to win.
not over.
But
the Warriors.
it's going to
There's
be
no way.
interesting to see how he plays with them. I think Patrick Patterson going there is a big move. It's a little big move. I think that's something they needed as well. But just like as a whole, seeing how the Thunder are going to play together is going to be interesting, because Paul George is going to want to, prove that he's gonna get max dollars from the Lakers, but they're going to want him to stay. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays with Westbrook, because Westbrook is super, super dominant as a personality. So
That's almost mild to say.
yeah, I'm like trying to
Super.
I was trying to think of another word, but like what?
Super friends, you're talking about super
Ooh,
friends.
Tony Amurati's back, baby. Oh man, but to see Westbrook and PG play for me is going to be very interesting.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Does Danny Know? We're going to go through some players to see if I know, and I most likely do not know. So, gentlemen, go for it.
last time.
All right, let me start out. I'll start out this one. All right, this guy is first round pick, fourth overall pick in the 2008 draft.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He went to college at UCLA from 2006 to 2008.
Oh, no.
He is a 0-time champion, but he has made 6 All-Star games. He has an MVP that he has won in the past year.
Oh, no.
Come on.
No.
He just.
I just thought that would be it.
Totally blanking.
I thought he was selected
So last
by
year's MVP.
he was selected by the Seattle Supersonics. That's who he was
Last year's
drafted
MVP.
by.
Last year's
He was
MVP.
getting stumped.
You talked about it so much.
All right. He's a 2-time All-Star Game MVP, and he really, really thrives on getting rebounds as a point guard.
Rebounds as a point.
Should I give him one more hint?
I'll give you one more hint. He averaged a triple-double.
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead.
It's Russ.
Yes, ding,
Oh,
ding, ding. A little late.
Okay.
I thought that would be it. the
Yeah,
MVP.
you get no points on that one. You want to go ahead, Jacob? Go ahead, Jacob.
All right, so this player was the first overall pick in 2010.
Okay.
Came out of Kentucky.
Okay.
He's played for the same team since 2010. Still playing. He just signed a huge contract with this team.
Is it Harden?
He's a point guard.
Point guard.
Kentucky.
First overall pick in 2010.
I'm so bad with draft years too. Shoot, I don't know.
One more hint.
He plays for the Wizards.
John Wall.
Yeah.
There you go. Point guard John Wall. You got that. All right.
I really know my own hometown team, huh?
Great.
All right. This one.
Okay.
2007 NBA draft. Second overall pick behind Greg Oden out of the University of Texas.
Okay.
He's a he's a reigning NBA champion.
He has also
He
won
was
an MVP.
drafted by the Supersonics. That's what throws them off. Supersonics.
Yeah.
Because they turned into the Thunder.
The Thunder. So think about that.
He won an MVP. His mom's the real MVP.
Oh. KD.
There you go. Got it.
So bad at this.
This guy. It's the last one.
This last one. I'm getting embarrassed. This is the last one.
All right. Oh dang! I had two that were really good. This guy
You can just
went to college, Arizona State,
Okay.
2007 to 2009, and in 2009 he was drafted 3rd overall by the Oklahoma City Thunder.
3rd overall.
Not 0-time champion, 6th man of the year though. He did win that in 2012. He led the league in assists this past year.
Okay.
He's playing alongside Chris Paul this season, coming up.
Harden.
Yeah.
Got it. We related all of them this time.
Everybody, my name is Danny, and I do not know. Thank you so much.
Last time it was so easy. We gotta make it a little bit tougher.
Oh, man.
So we found out Danny does know a little older basketball more than he knows current basketball.
Yeah.
Which is, but that's
This past
okay.
season wasn't so well
That's
for
okay.
Danny with KD and
But
Russell
the '90s
Westbrook.
basketball, he got pretty good.
He got pretty
He got
good.
pretty good.
So-
That's what we'll give him now.
Give him that.
There you go.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for checking out this episode of the Sharpshooters NBA podcast. Be sure to check us out on all of our social medias.
Do it.
Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, you name it. We're out there. We're on Instagram. So check us out there. All of the social medias, the links are in the descriptions. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's there. If you're listening on SoundCloud and everything, it's probably there too. So thank you so much, everybody. This is it's been a great day. It's been a great episode. So
Everybody have a good morning.